Hello boys, this would be my McRib review. Never had one before, so let's get down to business. First, visually, not the best looking sandwich on the outside, gotta say. A lot of barbecue sauce overlapping on the sides of the bread. This is, I guess, the rib part here. It looks weird. It doesn't look like real ribs. It looks like a processed turd. It is McDo after all, no shock there. When I open the sandwich here, I see it's topped with onions and pickles. Very light on both. Not a huge pickle enjoyer, but the onions could have been better, could have been more, I should say. Very bland looking sandwich. Just ribs, barbecue sauce, onions, and pickles. The bread is not the traditional sandwich, you know, McDo burger bread. It's like the long sub, I guess you could say, kind of bread. It's not really a sub though. It's just long McDo bread. Bread is warm. You know, the sandwich is warm. They didn't give me a cold one, at least. Seems like they are making a lot of them. A lot of orders for them, probably. Girl was excited when I said McRib in the drive-through thing. I guess that's a promotional reaction. So that's about it for the way it looks. Let's get into it. Interesting. First bite, I gotta say, tastes a lot better than it looks. That was pretty good. There's a lot of sauce. I'm not a huge enjoyer of too much sauce, I should say a lot. But in this case, I feel like the barbecue sauce is the crux of the sandwich. The McRib itself would be a bland and dry turd without the barbecue sauce. So it's actually complements the rest of the sandwich quite well. So it's actually good. I mean, it seems like there's a lot more sauce on the end here than maybe the bite I just took, but from the bite I just took, it was very consistent, very good. Try to bite more into the middle of the sandwich to get the mix of pickles and onions here, let's say. I will say it's quite small. I don't know if it's because it's in Quebec, they're smaller than the American versions, but it's quite small, quite skinny. Thought it'd be a thicker slab of rib, so to say. I mean, ribs themselves are pretty lackluster in terms of meat. They're very, you know, you take one bite off the bone and it's done, right? So ribs themselves are not a huge, thick piece of meat like a steak or something, but, you know, this isn't a real rib, let's be honest here. So they could maybe make the sandwich either, I'd say thicker. I was gonna say longer, but it's not Subway, right? So that would make sense, but thicker. There should be a thicker piece of rib, because I have a feeling I'm gonna eat this, like, I'm already half done in 2 bites, right? It's quite small. You know, I am gonna say this. I'm not a huge pickle enthusiast when it comes to putting them on burgers, but the pickles are pretty good. They complement the barbecue sauce quite well in the McRib. So I like it. I would continue to take pickles on a McRib. I wouldn't say no pickles, let's say. Onions, I don't really taste too much. Maybe I just haven't gotten a bite of them, but got some onions there. Not bad. Overall, so far, I gotta say, it's a good sandwich. It's good. It's really good, actually. I understand why they don't sell them 24/7, because they're really good, and I think that if they were a regular menu item at McDonald's, the quality of the sandwich would diminish significantly, because it would just be like any other quarter pounder, McNugget, or whatever, where some locations would, you know, give a fuck and make it well and make the ingredients fresh, whereas others would, you know, have it sitting in the fucking counter for half an hour or more like 3 hours. So it would be garbage, right? So people wouldn't have as much, wouldn't give a fuck as much about the McRib in that case. First of all, it would just be it wouldn't be a novelty item. It would be a regular food item. But also, you know, it would, you know, by definition of the nature of regular food service at McDonald's, it would diminish in quality. So I think from a marketing standpoint, having it, you know, once a year or however often they have it, makes total sense from a marketing perspective, because people will remember, oh, the McRib I had last year was fucking good, you know, I want to go back and buy it. So they make money on sales just because of it's a novelty item, and people will always continue to have a positive experience eating a McRib, because since it is novelty, the ingredients are pretty much the you know, the rib itself will be fresh. Pretty much the whole, not all, you know, obviously there's probably exceptions, but for the most part will always be fresh when someone gets one. And that leaves a positive reinforcement in people's heads when they eat a McRib, because every time they've had it, it was good. They didn't have a bad experience for most people eating it. So I do understand why they don't sell it all the time. It would be nice if they were always like this every day and they sold them like this constantly. I would love it, because it is quite good of a sandwich. But obviously, like I said, if they did sell it regularly, it wouldn't be as good. So, you know, gotta trade some, just like a trade-off, you could say. I don't know, let me finish this bad boy. Take a bite directly into the ribs and see what it tastes like, huh? There's a lot of barbecue sauce on that side. That side's a bit cold, but that's probably because I'm sitting here talking. I mean, it's good. It tastes like ribs. There's nothing really else to say. It tastes like ribs and barbecue sauce. Chewy. I'd say way more chewy than just regular, you know, going to a rib place and getting ribs fresh, because it is processed. I don't really know how they make this kind of Frankenstein-ass meat, you could say. I think what they do is they take a bunch of ribs, put them in a grinder, mush them together, call it a day, and then, you know, flatten it or whatever to make it like shaped like a sandwich. Very chewy compared to regular ribs, but that is to be expected. It is a sandwich after all, right? So that's not necessarily a bad thing. But it is good. Overall, a good sandwich. And I'm honestly leaning towards them just keeping it a novelty item to preserve the quality of the sandwich. Chewy but good. Now I got a plain McRib the way they sell it normally. If you throw on a piece of lettuce on there, or maybe some tomatoes, I don't know if it would be better, if it would not mix well with the barbecue sauce and whatnot, but I can't imagine it would be that much worse. Maybe next time I'll slap on a piece of lettuce on there, because I think it's light, you know, it's not a huge sandwich, that's for sure. Good sauce consistency though, good sauce to sandwich ratio, because I find McDonald's generally has a problem. They always friggin' squirt the fucking mayo or whatever, the mustard, all on one side of the sandwich. So you eat 3/4 of the sandwich, no sauce, and then you take the last bite, and it's just like you put a freaking pack of ketchup in my mouth. It's like, come on, guys. But in this case, at the McDonald's I went to anyway, they did it well. Let's take the last bite here. All right. So that was the McRib from McDonald's. Pretty good overall. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. The only reason I don't give it 10 is because it's too small, I find. I think the rib should be a bit thicker, the rib part of the McRib. And pickles and onions complement the sandwich well, but I don't think it's enough. I wouldn't mind if they threw in some lettuce in that bad boy. So, not 100% perfect sandwich. I don't think that's possible at McDonald's, honestly. But I'd give it an 8 out of 10, pretty good. I think I got lucky having a good McRib for my first time, because if I would have went to a shitty McDonald's and gotten a less good one, I'd probably be more skeptical to buy them in the future. But pretty good. I would certainly recommend it, and I would certainly eat one again. Not bad at all. So that's gonna do it for you. That was my McRib rating, review, whatever you want to call it. Me eating a McRib and talking about it. Have a good day.